From the NMSU Department of Journalism and Media Studies in collaboration with KRWG, this is the student-produced News 22, where news matters.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Carpio Grego.
And I'm Nina Gallegos. The Las Cruces Police Department wants your help in finding a 70-year-old woman, Joanne Melon Guadian, was last seen November 26 near the 200 block of East Picacho.
That's right. Guadian is 5 feet 2 inches tall, weighs 140 pounds. She has brown eyes and black hair. Now, she was last seen wearing light pink pajama bottoms and a black shirt. She was arrested at about 7:30 p.m. November 23rd and was charged with breaking and entering. Now, she was previously evicted from her apartment but broke back in. Please call the Las Cruces Police Department at 575-526-0795 with any more information. Now, a GoFundMe account is raising money for a family whose house was burned down last Tuesday.
The Las Cruces Sun News reports no family members or pets were hurt, but Antoinette Reyes and her family spent Thanksgiving in a hotel. She said her partner was woken up by firefighters and told to evacuate while her children were with their father. It was a bad week. Her home was robbed the night before, and as of yesterday, the GoFundMe has raised $11,000 of the $30,000 goal to buy food, clothes, and furniture. And I'm so grateful that Thanksgiving has passed and we can finally listen to Christmas music.
I know, Nina. I'm listening to it too. I was really scared we weren't going to have some winter weather, but we finally did. Ruby, what can you tell us about the weather?
All right, thank you guys. Our current weather for today in Las Cruces, we saw some partly cloudy skies and we had a temperature of 62. We had a few little breezes of 5 miles per hour and there was a humidity point of 56%. And we also have a dew point, which makes it feel about 43 degrees. And now next, we're gonna have today, our high temperature was 63 degrees and we averaged around 60 degrees. And tonight we will have a low of 38 degrees. On this day, December 3rd in 1995, we had a high of 76 and in 1979, a low of 19 degrees. It didn't rain today, but we've had about 5 inches so far for the whole year of 2024. Now, back to you.
Now, Nina, unfortunately, as of 2022, suicide was the 10th leading cause of death in New Mexico. But since then, there's been efforts across the state, including in the Las Cruces community.
Now, one of these efforts is a 5K and a mile run. But the question remains, does this kind of event help? Jorge Fonseca reports.
More than 50 runners took off for either the 5K or the 1 mile run. A run to spread awareness and let people know they are not alone.
It puts it out there, it puts a message out there loud and that we're here for you, and then there's people and there's resources that can help you.
Organizers know they cannot solve the problem of suicide with this alone, but they hope to make a small impact in Las Cruces. A small impact is all what it needs to change a person's life. Over here at the New Mexico State University, somebody has had that change for the better. Leslie Betts is a suicide attempt survivor. He was happy to see the runners pass by next to his dorm, and he had to share it on his social media.
Everybody knows this means something to me, so...
And a few of the runners that came by, I told them, thank you for what you're doing, because I am a survivor. And quite a few of them, they kept saying, glad you're here.
Coming from a homeless shelter in Silver City, Betts has found happiness in music, working for an internet radio, hosting a show about his favorite music genre, metal.
The only places I actually have very high self-confidence is when I'm on air, 2 hours a night, the entire world just disappears. When I'm behind my microphone, laying down vocals for my band, the entire world disappears. So I found solace in music. That's really the only place where I'm happy.
Events like this suicide prevention run are for people like him.
I know it's not probably something super big, but at least it's something, and that's what we want to create.
The run was able to get around $800 through donations, and it will go to Las Cruces Suicide Prevention Task Force to help with events like this in the future. Jorge Fonseca, News 22.
Stay tuned, Ruby will be back with your national forecast.
Welcome back. You're watching News 22 Tuesday,
where news matters. Sports are a great way to get involved in the community and keep our bodies healthy. One community in particular uses sports to improve the lives of people with intellectual disabilities. And Special Olympics New Mexico was here in the city of the Cruces to do just that. Sports have the ability to change lives. And for Randy Mascarella, Special Olympics New Mexico did exactly that. She was women's basketball coach at Iowa State when she first saw Special Olympians in action.
I watched 3,000 athletes compete, and in about 10 minutes, I fell in love with it.
Randy isn't the only one whose life has been changed through Special Olympics New Mexico. 800 athletes and coaches traveled to Las Cruces to show the city of the Cruces all that they're capable of. These athletes may have a community through sports, but outside this bubble, there's a lot of work to be done.
They have to put up with a lot of bullying, a lot of staring.
And that's not all people with intellectual disabilities face. For Special Olympics, athletes playing well also means seeing well. But that accessibility might not be as accessible as it is for those without disabilities. One problem is simply finding a doctor.
It's a challenge for you and I and our family members. When you have an intellectual disability, it's even harder.
What we are hearing is that our students are not having an easy time accessing the needed treatments off campus.
And on campus, if NMSU students with learning disabilities don't seek out support, they may not get the support they need at all. High school teachers keep track of students that need support, but
in a college level setting, though, you have to come to us.
Perfect. And if a student doesn't express that need, they're at risk of falling through the cracks. People like Joseph and Randy say it's not a perfect world, but they still have hope.
And perfect world for me is finding a way to maybe dedicate staff or something to essentially just assist our population, our students.
A whole inclusive mindset. That's what we need to have.
Randy says if you volunteer with people with intellectual disabilities, you're going to see lives change right in front of your face. But don't be surprised if the life that changes the most is your own.
Well, we're kind of the last region of the country to finally get this cold winter weather.
Ruby, what can you tell us about that national weather forecast?
All right, guys, first we're going to take a look at this map here, and we're going to see this, an Arctic blast bringing in some snow. And it's going to travel from the Midwest all the way to the Northeast. So it's going to go from the Great Lakes back in Michigan, travel across Pennsylvania, up here into the New York area. And on my next map, we see the snow mixing with a lot of wind, and it's causing a lot of states to feel below freezing temperatures. We have 7 here up in Minnesota and Michigan border, ranging from 5 to 18 and 12 degrees up in Maine. And lastly, I want to talk about the southern half of the country, which is completely opposite from what we see up here and what we saw from those wind chills and that Arctic blast. We have 81 degrees down here in our neighbor of Arizona, 70 in Southern California, and we also have 74 degrees in the Gulf of Mexico. And going to Miami, it is also clear skies, 71 degrees, warm down here in the south. And so after all that, I'll be back with your local weather forecast after the break. All right, welcome back to News 22. We're going to start off in the northern half of New Mexico. We have Farmington at 57, Albuquerque at a 56, down to Ruidoso, 57 degrees as well. Here in Las Cruces, as I said before, we're having current conditions of 62. Deming is also 62 degrees. Then we have Farmington tomorrow at a 51, Albuquerque at 59, and then this Ruidoso, which is usually probably getting snow right about now, 60 degrees. Tomorrow we're going to have 67 degrees in Las Cruces, and in Deming, 66. All right, in Alamogordo tonight, we're going to see a low of 38, partly cloudy skies, and tomorrow, sunny skies at a 65. In Truth or Consequences, we also have a low of 36 with partly cloudy skies and a 64, partly cloudy skies. In Silver City, they're bordering on freezing temperatures at 32 degrees. And tomorrow they're going to have partly cloudy skies at 62. All right, back to y'all.
Thanks, Ruby. The M104 Galaxy was nicknamed the Sombrero Galaxy because of its resemblance to the distinctive hat.
Yes, but the James Webb Telescope has captured a surprising new view of it that looks distinctly different. Now, the image was taken with the Space Observatory's Mid-Infrared Instrument, or MIRI. It showcases the galaxy's smooth inner disk rather than the glowing core that usually shines in visible light images taken with the Hubble Space Telescope. Now, the Webb image makes the crown of the sombrero invisible, but the result is a view of the galaxy that more closely resembles a bullseye. And Varvara Nikoleva is next with sports.
Thanks, guys. Coming up in sports, let's talk about the Las Cruces High School's playoffs. You can toss that remote because News 22 Sports is next.
This is KRWG-TV News 22 Sports.
For the win! He got it!
Welcome back. I'm Varvara Nikolaeva and let's talk sports. The high school football season came to an end Saturday, and in the 6A state title game we saw a rematch between Cleveland and La Cueva. Ben Schlittler reports.
For the 6A state championship. The Cleveland Storm from Rio Rancho and the La Cueva Bears from Albuquerque were hoping for one last win for their fans and their families.
Yes, he comes from La Cueva, and he's been playing football since he was 5 years old. Oh, I love it. It's really nice.
Oh, I remember hard practices, fun games, good football.
This game meant a lot to both squads. La Cueva was looking to win back-to-back championships for the first time ever, and Cleveland was looking for a little revenge. Last year, Cleveland lost to La Cueva in the title game, and La Cueva has always seemed to be the thorn in Cleveland's side, a pain that Sawyer Jones knows all too well. He was with the program when they lost to La Cueva in 2018.
I just moved to New Mexico as well, and I thought, I was like, we're at the winning program. I was really hoping they'd win, but they didn't pull it out.
As advertised, the game was a rough and tumble affair. La Cueva's normally great offense couldn't get past the Storm's wall of linebackers. La Cueva did come up with some tricks by throwing in linebacker Mason Posa at quarterback to catch the Storm off guard, to no avail. As the clock struck 0 and as the senior class at Cleveland and Cueva both played their final snaps, Cleveland was able to take it home 26-8 in a win that means just a little bit more for these guys. The Storm proved to be more physical, and that was the key in the game.
Yes, sir. I'm hurting a little bit, but I feel great. We just got this W. Coach was telling me you got to get down and dirty, get those dirty yards. And that's what I've been doing the whole game.
The Cleveland coaching staff is thankful for their senior leadership, which they say led them to this title.
We had a really good group of seniors: Brandon Cochran, Solomon Kegler, A.J. Manning on the defensive side. Our defense was phenomenal this year. Some good core group of receivers. I'm proud of our senior group. They bought in.
Despite the heartbreak, the Bears have a lot to look forward to. A lot of their defensive starters are coming back next year, and it seems that their best football is ahead of them. But for now, the state title returns to Rio Rancho as the seniors end their high school football careers, and some begin their college football careers. Ben Schlittler, News 22.
New Mexico fell 42-35 to UTEP in their season final on Saturday at Aggie Memorial Stadium. Despite outgaining UTEP 533 to 298 yards, the Aggies struggled with turnovers, including 2 fumble return touchdowns and a 93-yard punt return for a score. Quarterback Parker Watt threw 340 yards and 3 touchdowns, while running back Mike Washington rushed for 133 yards and a touchdown. UTEP took control in the second half, scoring on turnovers and special teams to secure the win. Aggies finished this 2024 season with only 3 wins, and that is with the first season with the coach Tony Sanchez. New Mexico State men's basketball struggled against Pepperdine, falling 82-70 at the Arizona tip-off in Tempe. The Aggies were unable to recover from a slow start and a 17-point deficit in the second half. Peter Filippovich led the team with 15 points and 11 rebounds. But New Mexico State dropped its third straight game. The Aggies will face Bowling Green next after Pepperdine moves on to play Weber State in the championship. And that's all for sports tonight. Join us for more sports action tomorrow. We'll be right back at the News 22 to take a look at your 5-day weather forecast.
And that's all for News 22. Have a good night.
This news brief en español is brought to you by Noticias 22, la información más completa de Nuevo México, El Paso y la frontera. Noticias 22.
Buenas tardes, les saluda Zaira Sánchez y estas son las breves de hoy con Noticias 22. El Departamento de Policía de Las Cruces solicita su ayuda para encontrar a una mujer de 70 años. Joan Melvin Guadián fue vista por última vez el 26 de noviembre cerca de la cuadra 200 de Picacho Este. Guadián mide 5 pies, 2 pulgadas y pesa 140 libras. Tiene ojos marrones y pelo negro. Fue vista por última vez vistiendo una pijama rosa claro y una camisa negra. Guadián fue arrestada alrededor de las 7:30 de la tarde del 23 de noviembre y fue acusada de allanamiento de morada. Anteriormente había sido desalojada de su apartamento y había entrado por la fuerza. Si tiene información, llame al Departamento de Policía de Las Cruces al 575-526-0795. La Policía Estatal de Nuevo México está investigando un tiroteo en el que estuvo involucrado un oficial de la policía. Los agentes de la Oficina de Investigaciones descubrieron que oficiales del Condado de Luna fueron enviados a Deming por una llamada de disturbio doméstico. Cuando llegaron a la escena encontraron a John Dwellis, de 55 años, de pie cerca de una camioneta. Después Dwellis disparó un arma de fuego y luego se escondió detrás de la camioneta. El ayudante del sheriff se refugió en su patrulla y pidió ayuda. Un agente disparó al menos una vez alcanzando a Dwellis. Dwellis fue trasladado a un hospital y se encuentra estable. Ningún agente resultó herido y Dwellis se enfrenta a cargos por asalto agravado a un oficial. Los agentes siguen trabajando con la recopilación de pruebas y entrevistas. Muchas gracias, eso fue todo por mi parte. Bonita noche.